Hey everyone, this is Lauren Mack with Hacking the Rat Race. Is 40 or over too late to start investing? Will I still be able to retire? Is it even worth it? These are some of the most common questions I get asked. With all the information these days, especially on social media, they make you believe that if you're not a millionaire by the time you're 28, you are doomed. Nothing could be further from the truth. I'm going to break this down for you, and I'm going to give you a step-by-step plan. Additionally, I've included a workbook that walks you step-by-step through the process. You can access it in the show notes below. For me personally, I went from being $42,000 in debt to becoming debt-free and saving my first $100,000 in just under 5 years. This can be you as well. I was not given a trust fund, an inheritance, I did not win the lottery. I simply implemented the process I'm going to share with you below. So let's jump right in. So, is 40 or over too late to start investing? The answer is absolutely not. It does not matter how old you are. It is never too late to start getting your finances in order. I have helped people who are 60 years old and just getting their finances in order. It is never too late. Even if you're 70, 80, it doesn't matter. It is never too late. But the sooner you start working on it, the better. Because your best friend when investing is time and compound interest. It doesn't matter when you start. The important thing is that you start. The first thing you should do is take stock of where you are with your finances. Do not judge yourself. Just look at the numbers objectively as possible. You have to know where you are in order to figure out where you need to be and how to get there. It's important to look at how much debt you have, how much money, if any, do you have in savings? Do you have an emergency fund? How much income you're making monthly and annually? And how much money do you have invested, if any? Again, if your answer is, I have no savings, no investment, and I have a ton of debt, that is okay. We all have to start somewhere. And the fact that you're watching this and starting now is what is important. The next thing you're going to want to do is create a budget. It is imperative that you have a plan for your money. This does not have to be a self-torture device, but without a plan, you have no idea where you're going and you have no idea where your money is going. If you've never created a budget, you don't know how, or you rather eat bugs than work on a budget, check out my video on making an automated set it and forget it budget. You can literally look at your budget once a year. I'll link to the video above and in the show notes below. If you work for a company that has a 401k plan or something like that, and your company offers a match, then investing to the match means you get an automatic 100% return on your investment. This is before the money is even invested. Additionally, this is part of your compensation package for the work you're doing, so don't leave this money on the table. So if you have not started investing, this is the best place to start. Please note, I am not a financial advisor, and you should talk to your financial advisor before making any investments. If you don't have a financial advisor, then I have a video on how to get a free financial advisor. I'll link to it above and in the show notes below. That being said, getting 100% return on your investment is unheard of. So I always invest to my 401k up to the match. Additionally, when you invest in your 401k or a traditional IRA, which is an individual retirement account, this is pre-tax dollars. That means this reduces your taxable income. So not only are you getting 100% return on your investment, it is also lowering the amount of money you owe in taxes, so it is win-win. Depending on which tax bracket you're in, this could be a significant savings. Even if you have debt, as we'll discuss here shortly, I always think investing to the employer match is a good idea. If you're getting value from this video, don't forget to poke the like button. The next important thing to do is start an emergency fund. If you have debt, I recommend $500 for the first person in your household and $100 for each additional person. If you don't have debt, then 3 to 6 months of your monthly expenses. This money should be in something that can be easily accessed, like a high yield savings account or money market account. I have often found that many credit unions have the best interest rates, as well as some online banks like Ally Bank. You can usually find the rates banks offer on their website, or you can call them to check. Do note that your emergency fund is not an investment. It's more like an insurance plan for unexpected things that happen in your life. The next thing you'll need to do is look at your debt. Again, no judgment. Just look at the numbers. Now is the time to create a plan to get out of debt. Just like saving and investing, in the beginning, the progress looks small, but as things progress, you will pay it off faster and faster and faster, and you will be shocked. I recommend the snowball method. You take your debts with an interest rate over 4%, not including your mortgage, and list them smallest to largest according to the amount you owe. Pay the minimum payment on all of them, except the debt with the lowest amount. Put all extra money you have towards the debt and keep going until they are all paid off. If you have a significant amount of high interest debt, like credit card debt, then I have a video called How to Get Out of Debt Fast with a super easy shortcut. I'll link to it above and in the show notes below. This is another way to get out of debt quickly and save you thousands of dollars in interest. Once your debt's paid off, then the next thing you want to do is start investing for retirement. The great thing is, once you've completed the debt snowball, you can roll all that money you've been using to pay off debt into your retirement account. There are two key factors with retirement, and both are really important. First is how much money per month you'll need to live on, and the second is the amount of money you'll need to retire. The less money you need to live on per month, the less money you need for investments to retire on. Depending on how close you are to retirement, you can check and see approximately how much you'll be receiving from Social Security, or in other countries, what your pension payout will look like. This amount can be subtracted from the amount you'll need monthly in order to be able to retire with the lifestyle you desire. For example, if you need $4,000 a month to live on in your retirement, and your Social Security or pension will provide $2,000 a month, then you'll only need to make up the additional $2,000 per month. That would mean you would need around $600,000 if you were going to draw down 4% without ever touching the $600,000 that you have saved. If you are looking at this number and thinking it is not possible, then stay to the end because I'm going to share with you a potential shortcut. However, while this may seem like a huge number, with commitment and time on your side, you will be surprised at how quickly you can reach that amount. If you only need an extra $1,000 a month, then you only need to save up $300,000. As you can see, that is a huge difference. But that $1,000 a month could also be a big difference in lifestyle and retirement. The way you determine the amount of money you'll need with a 4% drawdown rate, take the amount you need per month, multiply it by 12 to get the amount of money you will need annually. Then take that amount and multiply it by 25. So for the $2,000 a month example, you multiply $2,000 by 12 months, which equals $24,000, and then you multiply that by 25, which equals $600,000. One thing I would caution is to not underestimate the amount you will need per month in retirement. It is better to have a cushion and cut back if you don't hit that amount than to barely make it by when you could have potentially saved more. Additionally, using the 4% drawdown is the amount you would need without ever touching the original saved nest egg. In our example, that would be $600,000. As you age, you could start pulling down from this amount as well. That being said, I always like to play it safe and have a little more than not enough. Another thing I would like to mention here is that if you love traveling or ever considered living abroad, you can oftentimes maintain your lifestyle or increase it for significantly less money. Comment below if you would like me to make a future video breaking this down by different locations. Once you know the number you're shooting for, now is the time to start investing. If you're brand new into investing, a great option to consider is a robo-advisor like Betterment because it's easy to set up, it's goals-based app, and there are no minimum investment amounts. Using a robo-advisor like this takes the guesswork out of it and is based on your comfort level with risk and how much time you have left to retirement. Another great option would be looking at Vanguard target date funds. You can find the date closest to your retirement date, and as you get closer to retirement, the fund continues to rebalance. The minimum investment is $1,000 to get started. These are great for beginners because they're easy to use and are managed for you. Other brokerage firms like Charles Schwab use this as well, but some of them have higher minimums. However, if you already have an account open at one of these other brokerage firms like Charles Schwab or Fidelity, this could be a good option as well. The other option is to start learning the basics of investing and invest in things like index funds and ETFs. Index funds, mutual funds, and ETFs can be a way to easily diversify your investment instead of investing in individual stocks. There is usually a mutual fund or ETF for almost all different types of markets. For example, you have the S&P 500 index that tracks the 500 largest US companies. Additionally, there are index funds for bonds, REITs, commodities, literally almost every section of the market. However, if you're getting very close to retirement age, then I would recommend speaking to a financial advisor, because the closer you are to retirement, the more you want to consider your risk level to ensure that the money you're investing is there when you need it. Another option could be investing in real estate. To some people, this can seem like a big task, even overwhelming. But an easy way to invest in real estate is to purchase another house to live in, if you already have one, and then rent out your current house. The reason this can be easier is because you need a lot less money for a down payment when you're buying a property to live in. If you're currently renting, then you could buy a house, live in it for a year or so, and then buy another house and rent out the first house. I would like to state, if you do this, that it is important to have adequate reserves and a separate emergency fund for repairs or vacancies. There are a couple of reasons real estate can be a quicker way to reach your goal. The first reason is that you only have to invest a small amount of money to get appreciation on the total amount of the house. For example, if you invest $20,000 on a $250,000 house and the house appreciates 10%, you've made $25,000. If you invest $20,000 in the stock market and it appreciates 10%, you've made $2,000. That is because you used leverage, the mortgage, to increase your returns. This is the way we initially built our wealth. We even bought houses that needed a little bit of work. We did most of the work ourselves. We lived in them before we would buy the next house. If you're not into fixing things up or don't have time, that's not necessary. But when choosing a house, look at what rents are also going for in the area and for that particular house to make sure it would be rentable and that you would be making cash flow each month. Meaning, the monthly rent is higher than the bills you'd be paying out each month. The other reason this could be a quicker way to get to your goal is, if you remember in the example before, you needed to have invested $300,000 in order to make $1,000 a month with a 4% drawdown. You could potentially buy a house with, say, $10,000 down or more if you have it, and that could possibly net you a monthly cash flow of, say, $500 a month over time. Again, you would need to run the exact numbers and make sure you have adequate reserves. But as you can see, it takes less of your money to build the monthly amount you need. Additionally, if you rather eat bugs than become a landlord, you can always hire a property manager. That's what we do, and then you don't have to deal with it. However, if you don't have a good emergency fund or are trying to do this on a tight budget, then I don't recommend this. Just to give you an idea, I try to have at least 3 months rent and enough to cover one big repair for each house. This is something that takes time, but if done correctly, can build wealth quicker over a shorter period of time. If you're watching this and you're feeling overwhelmed or like this is impossible, I will say this: take a deep breath and just start the process. The worst thing you can do is nothing. So many people just bury their head in the sand and they'll pretend like it will just go away, or they'll deal with it at a later time. Now is the time, and you can do this. Print off the workbook, literally go step by step, and you'll be surprised at how just by starting, what a difference it will make. And when you have hard days, or maybe you get off track, just give yourself grace and start again. Anything you can save between now and retirement is better than nothing and can make a big difference in retirement. Additionally, there are ways in retirement you can get creative to make your money go even further. Comment below if you would like me to make a video on how to make money in retirement go further, or how to be able to retire on a lot less than you think you will need. If you're just starting the process and you want to know how to create the easiest set it and forget it budget, then watch this video right here.